Hey, my name is PolishLynx and welcome to Katawa Shoujo. Actually, I'm not as tired as I probably should be, because I was editing video until 4:30, something like this. 2 videos. I rendered them, and I got up at 8, and I recorded some Sakura MMO extra, and by that I mean I finished it, so I just have more rendering to be done. And I took a nap, and now here we are, Katawa Shoujo. The first thing I do this morning is trip once again over Kenji's package as I get out of bed, find myself diving headfirst into the floor before I even fully awake. Kind of similar to my trip, I guess, with the recording. But I'm so tired. I mean, now after nap, not dead, but you know, before that, I was deadish already. I want to smack this thing with the first blunt object I can find. Like I'm going for a home run, but I don't even have the energy for that this early in the morning. Okay, this is literally me. And it would likely damage whatever inside, and that would be mean. I slide into the hallway. It sails along the smooth floor with little difficulty and stops with a soft and almost inaudible pump on colliding with Kenji's door. Immediately a dozen locks unbolt in succession like a mounting symphony. "Who is it?" he says as he blindly steps forward into the hallway anyway, somehow stepping over the box in a way that would be uncharacteristically impressively graceful if it weren't for the fact I know it was wholly accidental. "It's me. I got your mail. You're standing over it." "I know. Thanks a lot, man." "Yeah, whatever. So what's in it?" He cringes, instantly turning very defensive and agitated. "It's nothing." "Come on, tell me. I'm curious." "As you know, I almost broke my neck falling over it. And before that I had to carry the stupid large box around with blocking my vision, crossing roads with it in front of me. I think you can at least tell me what's inside in return." "It's secret stuff. I can't tell you because then it would be very secret and shite. It's nothing important." "Well, if it's nothing important, then you can tell me." "If it's not important, why do you have to know?" "Why is this wrong?" "Why do you have to know?" "Why can't I know?" "Why answer my question with questions?" "Why won't you answer my first question?" "Why won't you answer my last question?" I realize our voices are getting higher with each reply. Down the hall, a door pops open and someone sticks his head out quizzically to see what is going on. Also, don't mind me playing around here. We must look like such fools. Probably not tools. But I bet I'm the only one out of the two of us with enough shame to realize it. "Fine. You can take it to the grave. I have to get ready for school anyway." "Damn no. We're so hasty to leave. Stick around a little. You want some coffee? It's been a while. You know, I thought you were dead since you were so slow with the package delivery." "You're lucky. I was willing to do package delivery in the first place, smartass." "Whoa, calm down. Man, you are so confrontational. It's because of the student council thing. I hear you hang out with them now." "You heard from me when I told you." "Really?" "Yeah, well, whatever, man. The point is, they are terrible. You're the new guy, so of course you would know, but around here she's a very divisive figure. Before we came here, she tried to institute a badge policy. It's a long story, so maybe you should sit down." "What do you mean, badge policy? Were people supposed to wear badges? Yo, I would be so against it. Badges are disgusting. And I mean even those anime badges. What's the point of making them?" I look around for a chair, but can't find one as we are in a goddamn hallway. I rest fingers start thinking that maybe I should tell him that. But he's already started talking, not want to waste the arm movement. I look at my watch instead. 7 minutes after 3 p.m. According to PC9 minutes, no, whatever. It would have been a reign of terror if it had happened. Wait. You're judging her based on something that didn't happen. But it was planned. That's good enough. Dude. Yeah. Anyway, her idea was like merit badges, but there would be also demerit badges. What? What do those do? I know it never happened. It seemed bad for us, so when I heard about it, I didn't leave my room for a few weeks. So, you heard there would be massive change, and hid in the room, trying to just ride the change out. Nah, I decided to do something about it. I found the student council office after a while and marched right in with a list of demands and a bunch of people I grabbed in order to make myself look like I had supporters. Wait, so not only did it not happen, but no one even cared. Kenji doesn't hear me. Having gotten a good momentum going, wrapped up in the energy of his own ranting, he starts to completely flip out and flail his arms, appearing to wildly throw gang signs. I walked to the desk and said to her, "Hey, you fascist woman, what is the bad idea? How out of touch can you be? Here in your ivory tower, smugly looking down upon us like we're just a bunch of idiots. Who do you think you are? Your level of elitism is terrible. You're probably one of those outrageous rich people who have chauffeurs drive them around slums so they can point and laugh. And only drink pricey coffee beans shut out by the last living dinosaur and brewed in a solid gold skull. And how could you? Go open your history book. Don't you know that the bourgeois are always overthrowing the bloody revolution for shit like this? Stupid! You're an idiot! Sure, the revolutionaries usually end up turning everything to an utter cluster freak later on, but Yamaku is the only kind of person who would create a policy like this. It's like something I would create to make people suffer, only real, and you want to institutionalize it? Where will this desecration of our rights end? We are people. This is not justice. That's what I said. Then I added a cry of, they can't take our things, but will never take our freedom, to appeal to the masses, like in that movie about the life of William Wallace, where they took his things but not his freedom and then they killed him. But she just ignored me and didn't even look at me from writing in her little paper shite. Maybe overwhelmed her with my logic so badly that she just retreated in denial. Maybe she's just an asshole. Either way, she didn't reply and the future refused to change. To top it up, does he know she can't speak and she doesn't have here? To top it off, on the way back I realized I had lost my student ID somewhere. This is the story of my life. A constant and seemingly futile struggle, like trying to climb up a brick wall with sponges and 4 hands. Hey, you said nothing changed, but she didn't make everyone wear a bunch of stupid badges, so it did change. I mean, technically nothing changed. They didn't have to wear them. And they still don't have to. Yeah, that's true. Okay, maybe you're not so bad then. I guess that counts for something. If I can get Kenji to admit that maybe 2 women may not be so bad after all, I'll take it. Especially if it allows me to slip out of this conversation. I didn't realize how much time had gone by. 5 minutes. Maybe 4. I tried to run through my usual morning routine as quickly as possible. I check my watch again, as I leave the dorms and see that I am already late. What am I late for? Fortunately, the rest of the day goes more smoothly, and after classes are over, I had to meet with Shizune again. Behind the school, I catch her leaning against the completed stand with parts of it still flecked with bits of paper and tape. Remnants of science from the last time it was used. Absent-mindedly spinning a nail in her hand, she hasn't noticed me yet. The temptation to sneak up on her is unbearable. Years of watching foreign wildlife documentaries have prepared me for this. I'm downwind, conditions are favorable. However, the more I think about it, the more it seems like a bad idea. Yeah. If we get caught hallway, I'll look like an idiot, and if she doesn't know it's me, I could end up with an injury. Either way, I also look a little insensitive, so it would probably be best not to try anything funny. As disappointing as this. I walk in front of her, startling her a little. Why so surprised? Did I catch you slacking off? Some hand sign? I probably shouldn't. Yeah, I will not do that. Sorry. Like, even... no. I will not be doing random movements. That doesn't make any sense, actually. And it would be kind of... probably offensive. I'm sorry. No, I was taking a break. You don't look like you even broke a sweat. That's some break there, President. Shouldn't I start back and forth mentally, and I think I managed to fluster her. There is expression on her face, and a little tension as well, but she can't back down. That would be unthinkable for her. Her fingers dance across each other impatiently. You're acting competitive today. Are you trying to get my blood boiling? Do you want to make it a contest? We'll race to see who can strike the most stalls by sound of... Who is acting? What? No. 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 I'm teasing you. That's okay. It's not real student council if you can't tease the student council president. You agree, don't you? Yeah. That isn't the student council charter, so it isn't true. There is no charter. At least I don't think there is. Don't think they pledge loyalty to our stack of takeout menus. Anyway, it's good that you're finally here. Even if you could have been earlier, pick up a hammer and we'll resume where we left off. As work assembling stalls again, I realized that it's really much less work than I would have expected. In fact, according to Shizune, we should be done by the end of the day with a little luck. Last time I did something like this for them. It took her, Misha, and myself almost 4 days to do it. It can't be just my imagination. You know, it doesn't seem like that much work. Because it isn't. That answer leaves me wanting a little more. Knowing that it isn't the best, Shizune puts down her hammer to elaborate. The creepy expression. It would be possible for two people to do that much work in less than a week. The truth is that I don't dismantle half the stalls. I just store them someplace else. Actually, more like I hide them in plain sight. She waggles a finger mischievously. But that's a secret, and it's not proper to reveal the tricks of the trade. I mean, I can get behind that, yeah. It's a good thing, she does that. You're not a magician. Winking, she takes out 2 plastic containers from her back, then puts them down a nearby board before raising her head slightly as if to say tada. I made lunch today for both of us. You can have this one. And the food shifted in my back, and now some of it is mixed together. She hands me one of the containers. I open it. It looks delicious, if a little simple. She hands me a pair of chopsticks, as if she had just remembered to, and I eat what looks like some grilled beef. It's very tasty. You don't like your food touching other food? Kind of. I do not. I mean, I don't mind. Because there is some food that goes nicely with other stuff. But for example, I don't like having entire tier of rice being covered with some sauce or whatever. I like the plain wine as well, right? Yeah. You're very picky. Sometimes I mix my food of my own, but not always, and not everything. I don't like it when it's done for me. What important? Yes! Shizune. Finally, we can understand each other on something. What is important is the choice. She points decisively to emphasize it, and then breaks her chopsticks apart to eat her own meal. As I continue to eat, I notice 2 things. The first is that almost everything I'm eating besides the rice is fried. Even the vegetables are fried. Yeah, that's kind of my thing as well, actually. And there is so much meat that she eats this kind of stuff all the time. I wonder how she managed to stay so thin in spite of it. Workout. The second thing I noticed is that I can't talk to her while eating. Talking with your mouth full is a little rude anyway, but with our hands holding out chopsticks and bowls, communication between us is impossible, just like yesterday. Even though we are spending time together, even though I took the time to learn sign language, it feels like I'm talking to her less. Despite that, it also feels like I'm understanding her more. I hear the sound of something tapping against one of the stands and look up to see Lynx standing out to my side, feeling her way around her cane. Hi! I literally catch myself before I can say, didn't see you there.
Oh, Hisao, is that you? I thought that I smelled something delicious cooking and wondered who it might be.
What'd you say? It's hard to move my hands in parallel to saying something completely different to Lee. It has to be why Misha just signs everything all the time. A bit sillier, but it seems like it would simplify things a lot. She hands her fingers delightedly at my translation, as if from hearing a joke.
All of this food was cooked hours ago, but for someone as lost yourself, who can't even turn in a piece of paper without being a week late, I guess your perception time would have to be
Thanks, Shizune, you just ruined everything. And here we had a nice beginning, and here you go on this again. That's not very nice. A frown crosses Lee's face in response to a reply to something she didn't hear.
Sorry. I'm just having a late lunch here. The student council president cooked everything.
I mean, sorry. I'm just having a late lunch here. The student council president cooked everything.
Is the student council president here right now?
She's right here.
I apologize. I didn't notice. Normally her level of presence is much higher. I was not aware that the student council serves lunch outdoors. Why wasn't I invited? I think that it's good to have enough free time to be able to do things like this, however.
What's saying?
If I were to invite you anywhere, you would just show up late.
Wow. But Shizune's words are outside of Lee's perception, a fact that is by the second increasingly maddening to her. I mean, I wouldn't translate this.
Translate for me completely, please.
Nope. What polite phrasing. It's a shame she's essentially asked me to let her fully release the dogs of war. Still, I can't just do nothing. The feeling of being unable to even respond and be understood is isolating. She would never forgive me. And I wouldn't care. I will just try to soften her words a little. Well, actually, this was all cooked a while ago.
Really? That's nice. Turn over here. It's very difficult to not look at the person you're speaking to. That isn't the way a prim and proper lady should conduct herself.
Half what I'm saying is really what Shizune is saying. She doesn't like it when people don't look in her direction when she's trying to make a point. She's to the right of my voice. Although in this case I can understand why Lily wouldn't. It's a very awkward situation. It's daunting being the so... Why would you... I honestly can't stand Shizune. In the end. And it's daunting being the sole conduit for dialogue between the two of them. From today onward, I don't care if someone makes my food. Time to change my ways. Truthfully, I had forgotten what happened last time they butted heads like this. It's clear. Episode 5? 4? I would need to have a look actually at my... I mean, I can quickly check this up actually. Let's see. 5. Okay, I was correct. It's clear Shizune remembers and Lee's being pretty hostile herself in her own way. I wouldn't say so. I would say that Shizune is the hostile here.
I'm sorry. Such formalities slipped my mind completely. I've got the student council president is the type of person who demands such respect and adherence to the rules at all the times.
Yeah.
I suppose student government requires you to keep the tight ship. Then again, she certainly has time for her own fun as well, so it must not be completely true.
Yeah, you better translate all of this, man.
Student council is not a dictatorship, nor a zero-sum game.
Yeah, I wouldn't be so sure. Shizune points at Lee with her finger out like the bar of a gun and snaps her fingers explosively, causing her to flinch and become visibly upset.
Is that so? Then that makes it more impressive that you have been a part of it for so long, playing it as though it were one. I admire the fact that you are so tenacious. To manage it all, you must be responsible as well. Not as much as I would like to be. You can't complain about yourself, or can you? You have a responsible actions like requesting deadline to be extended and then running all the way through the next deadline. That's very much of responsibility.
Shizune is happy to hear that, but apparently you're pretty responsible yourself, she says. It's her words, not mine.
That's really...
More or less. Lily doesn't seem very happy. We're not holding a cookout, we're just taking a little lunch break. We're actually out here building souls for the festival.
You would know since you would ever go outside. This round of tea?
Are you going to town shopping, maybe?
No, as I said before, I was just passing by in case you did not hear. I would hate to interrupt the student council president. You're not doing anything now, but you must both be very busy. In any case, Hisao, I'm sure that the student council president will be able to find or make work for the both of you if she needs to. I'll devour you!
Yeah, very busy, yeah. Devour is hard word. I'm pleased I can read it. This isn't time to celebrate fall, not over that. Instead, it looks like they might stop squabbling. I would drink to that. Let's. Lemon tea.
Have a nice day, Hisao. Goodbye, student council president.
Thanks, you too.
Stay classy.
What do you mean stay classy? As soon as Lily leaves, Shizune dives into the remains of her lunch as quickly as possible, as if each bite she shovels away means to forgetting any of this ever happened. No, I still can't stand her, man. I think it will never change. When she's done, she heads right back to hammering with the same mindset. It's good that she's working on her frustration, but now it doesn't look like she's in any mood to talk anymore. Maybe it's better. Maybe it's better. About 2 hours later, she stopped, having moved through the rest of the stalls non-stop in that time. It still feels hard to approach her, and I think about how easily a conversation can die. After it took so long to be able to get her alone and speak to her directly, it almost hurts.
Your translation was good.
Really?
First class.
She punctuated it with a thumbs up.
For your level. There are plenty deaf people in this school, and sign language classes have been on the edge of getting cut for a while now. I'm sure you don't have many classmates, am I right? If you're only learning sign language now, your speed is going to be limited, but that's why interest in it wanes, because it takes more effort than normal just to communicate. I imagine it's the same with all the languages.
Kind of.
In such a situation, conversation in sign language are less than they would inherently be to start with.
I don't understand that word. Less what? Less what?
Spontaneous. Oh. Misha is the only person who can really capture it.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Her expression changes for a second and changes back too quickly to digest, but I get the feeling that this isn't meant to be pursued. What do you want to know about this? Why do you and Lily fight so much? Tensing a little and visibly frowning, Shizune dents her fingers and overlays them repeatedly as if shuffling an invisible deck of cards. Well...
2 fights that you know of aren't worth calling so much. If you had been here last year, you could say that.
What do you mean? What did you do? I heard it was rough here. Something about how we tried to institute a badge policy. Surprised? Well, I want to hear more about that later, definitely. But you don't like Lee very much, do you? Don't dodge my question.
I'm not dodging anything. She was part of the student council until last year. We didn't get along very well. She wanted to keep doing things like the old student council did. The old student council was just so ineffectual. It was stupid and insulting.
What do you mean?
I want to do more, and we had a fight.
So you basically got competitive again.
A lot of fights.
I mean, I would understand why she quit it then.
She couldn't do anything on time.
Well, I wonder why maybe that was like that. All in all, I'd say losing sight is definitely harder to deal with than losing ability to speak or hear. Because without those two, you still see what you're doing, right? Over there, you might hear, you might be able to communicate, but you are not able to see what you're doing. I would say that is rougher. Not that I should be, you know, not that I should be comparing here that really, but it feels like it to me at least. Then she said, also we don't know what exactly she was supposed to be doing, but whatever. Then she said that what I want to do was meaningless, just extra busy work. Does this look like this meaningless busy work to you? I didn't know what you were supposed to be doing, so why are you asking me this? She gestures around us. What are you talking about right now? What's meaningless is a student council that doesn't do anything. Weak, lazy, and boring, especially boring. I mean, can say it's very entertaining so far. I couldn't accept it for sitting in a room with nothing to do. That's just a waste of time. Why would I even be there? It didn't get my blood flowing. Arguing fair does that. So, you argue with someone to just have your blood flowing? Wow. I know that's not the case, but whatever. If she could have been that motivated before, she wouldn't have to put so much dedication into being my enemy. But she shows that much spirit, it's not a complete loss. At least it's something, it's still exciting. You're weird. She actually enjoys the conflict. It's ridiculous. And what about the badge thing? She laughs, covering her mouth with her hand as if to hide it. Her laughter is the only thing she regularly tries to hide. That was just a joke. Having a little fun sometimes is important too. What do you mean it was just... Yo! But he was so freaking... energetic about it. What was that about exactly? But next day, I end up having to hunt around a bit at the start of lunch when I find that my usual vending machine near the dormitory building is sold out of my usual favorite canned cafe! Which is good because I hate cafe. I mean coffee. Don't mind me, I guess too much Sakura MMO with, you know, made cafe and I say cafe now. Whatever, this year takes longer than I expected. Things have been so hectic lately that it takes some time for me to register why something smells different as I walk through the school gardens back to the cafeteria. The grass has been freshly mowed. Ugh. I hate that smell, not gonna lie. The realization makes me pause and watch for a bit. The odd group of students chatting or playing around the grass and a couple of teachers conversing on the path ahead make for a very idyllic scene. Unfortunately, a feeling of imminent dread starts creeping up on me after a while. The feeling that I'm not alone. Who's there? Hey, sir! Is that you? Yeah, it's me. I guess I should be happy it's him and not say, a slasher. Kenji begins talking as he is having conversation with someone older than me. Knew it! That haircut is unmistakable. No normal person would have a haircut like that. Thanks. Unconsciously, I start touching the back of my head. Once I realize what I'm doing, I feel insulted, yet too surprised to even get indignant about it. Yeah, what are you doing here? Measuring the temperature. Winter will come soon. It'll be too cold for a woman to go out and have their stuff activities and the city-style power lunches, followed by obstructive human wave formation walks in crowded urban areas. When it happens, man will be able to walk the streets unfettered once again and reclaim what is his heritage. In order to prepare for today, I've been eating nothing but pizzas for the past week to store the energy. Okay. That's what bears do. So, there is much we can learn from the bear. Kenji nods emphatically, agreeing with himself. Okay, so check this shit out. I was in town today, buying milk. They had a new clerk, some hipster girl with a baseball cap with 2 hockey sticks on it. I call her hipster, hockey, baseball, hot girl. And the milk did have a price tag, so I told her to get over there and label that milk for future generations. Or you could just say, excuse me? There is no label on that milk. He probably said something dumb, right? He was in town today. He must have cut his morning classes. Again. I want to scold him, but his verbal torrent prevents me from getting a word in. She told me not to bother her because she was sick. Sick! Sick! We live in society here. You can't just opt out of human interaction because you're sick. Do you know how much effort it takes me to even get up in the morning? I still do, Fawa. And I do got up that morning to go down there and buy milk. Not to have my vital questions just brushed aside by some hipster Dofu's college girl who wears a hockey baseball cap to work indoors. Anyway, I was just trying to uphold the integrity of our products. A milk cartoon without the price tag. When I see something like that, it just leads to questions. Important questions. It's her job to answer them, damn it. That's the problem with women. They have no sense of duty. I get diarrhea. We didn't need to know that, Kenji. But you don't see me complaining about it. I'll soldier on and do what I have to do anyway, because that's what being a man is all about. Even if you have diarrhea, you keep going for the dream of better tomorrow. You know, frequent diarrhea is bad. Maybe you should stop drinking so much milk. I can do it. It's what allows me to gain my awesome strength. And that's not true. And in this world, a man's strength is the only thing that can be browbeaten out of him by an increasingly pussy-whipped society. I actually ate cornflakes with milk in the morning, sometimes in the evening as well. I don't feel like I'm getting more strength out of it, definitely. Why did I go back to cornflakes? Braces. Man, I miss bread. But you know, I'm not supposed to bite into the hard stuff, right? And I guess bread has crushed, so yeah, because of that really. And I'm too lazy like to cut it into small pieces as well, whatever. Now that I think about it, besides I don't want anything to fall off of the braces. Ugh, I had braces before and you know, it was a pain in the ass when something fell off. You had to go again, get this repaired and so on. Anyway, that's why I walk around leaving open jars of olives everywhere. Sometimes, just to show that I can. What do you mean? What? Do you refrigerate after opening? What? Man, I know. That's not important. You have to refrigerate after opening. Even if elementary school kids know that. What were we talking about? Olives. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I barely had any olives throughout my life, now that I think about it. They can't get the jar open in the first place, so it does matter. Yeah, that's true. I'm a genius. He self-assuredly rubs his chin, which is something I imagine scientists did until I met Muto and was tremendously let down. Anyway, I can't go to the store again, since it's clearly been compromised by woman. I can't believe he's so... Unless I disguise myself, maybe change to a different pair of glasses. Worst disguise ever. It's been working flawlessly all these years. I don't even need glass to see. They are, for a fact, also protect my identity. I'm like Superman. Worst these guys. Ever. I'm telling you, when people see my school ID, they can't even recognize me. Really? Let me see. Can't do that. I can't go around showing my ID to everyone. It was made long ago, in a different time. I had hippie hair. Actually, my ID is also not really similar to mine. Look. Because I had it made in high school. I hit 18 when I was in 2nd degree out of 3, right? In summer. And I had the ID made out. And I didn't have the beard yet. And I didn't make messy hair. I would say I had the... Okay, let's say that I actually had kind of Kenji hairstyle. Except my hair wouldn't go sides or anything. I hate that I was like that. But I've changed. Then again, I didn't get the beard going until 1st year of being at university. I would actually shave more or less religiously every single morning. And again, that's how I still do with the freaking mustache area. Because I hate mustaches. I want to see that idea of yours for Kenji. Well, I'm trying to imagine that Kenji takes his glasses off. What? He does what? Then again, do people in your areas or, you know, friends and so on ask you to show them your ID or whatever when we hear of it? It's kind of annoying, not gonna lie. I don't see a reason to look at it. Okay, do we get the anime eyes or what? He squints as soon as they're off his face, which makes him look even more tired than he already does. He was right. He does look very different. Kind of like he hasn't slept in years. Not different enough for it to be a good disguise for. You need more sleep. Nah. You look like you need it. No way. These are just the ace man who has seen things. Oh. A shaman's eyes. Terrible things that you can't imagine. Oh, so that's why he's around. Okay. Like when I made a ship in a bottle and my mom sat on it. That must have been painful. There was blood and shred of flora print everywhere. That's what life experiences. Kenji doesn't seem very comforted, even though I think this is actually the first thing he told me about himself that could have been legitimately traumatic. He's also talking about 30 degrees to my left, so I guess his blindness is real. I wave ahead in front of him anyway, to little effect. Man, I hope you realize I'm just joking. I love pretending that I did, somehow looking him in the eyes more difficult than usual. Want some trivia? People with small eyes wear big glasses. I've read it somewhere. It's because it makes your eyes look less beady? Really? I didn't know that. He puts his glass back on, and I feel oddly relieved for a moment until I remember that I still have to do with him glasses or not. Well, anyway, the artist girl wanted to paint my portrait once, I think. I had to talk to her like 5 times before she started making sense. Must have been rain, I suppose. What'd she look like? I don't know. A woman with sandals. I was hoping he'd say something more specific, like she had no arms. Rin does wear sandals, but I feel like the chance of there being another free-spirited female art student wearing sandals beside her is reasonably high. I was thinking, sure, someday after I burn all the explanations that exist, it might be okay to leave a portrait behind, so that people can look at it and remember the savior of mankind. They'll need it to model the statue. Then I thought about it some more and had to turn her down. It was tempting, but she wanted it for some school thing. It would be displayed. People would ask who I was, only I haven't saved society yet, so it would be pointless. And if someone recognized me, I'd have to explain myself. That's already a chain of events I don't want to deal with. I don't want to get mixed up in some weird situation shite like that always happens. Sting out is a surefire way to get put on a list.
What? What list?
That's why I make such a careful effort to blend in with people in my daily life until I can make my move.
Sure. What list?
There are many lists. So what are you doing here anyway?
Nothing. I kind of got here by accident.
Happens to me all the time. Well, hope that works out for you. I think I'm going to go back to my dorm room. I need to set my TV to record my shows.
You have TV?
Yeah, you should come over sometime. We can watch the game in high definition.
Before I can ask him what he's talking about, he's gone. He left like he came, with zero respect towards other people. Kind of amazing. Now that Kenji's gone, I resume looking aimlessly at the school gardens in their summer splendor. It's no use, he ruined them for me. I'm freaking interested more now. I'm sure that story was actually true. Okay, maybe it wasn't, but the fact that he said that he's seen more than, you know, a person should, I'm super curious what it might exactly have been. It's kind of crazy, ain't it? Like, technically we should be super curious about girls, but at this exact moment I'm way more curious about Kenji's story. Is it weird? I'm curious. I'm just curious. And I kind of like his character. Sure, he uses a bit of too much bad wording, but then again, in everyday life, we do that as well, right? Okay. When I get back to the cafeteria, exhausted but alive, I think of eating lunch with Shizune again, but find her sitting at the table with Misha already. If it were anyone else, I would think how they were too far away for me to hear them. This is Shizune and Misha, however. If I wanted to, I could eavesdrop on their conversation easily. What a third thing to think about, but it's there. I don't want to fall. Click. They must have a lot of catching up to do, even if it's only been a few days. I'm inclined to just leave them alone so they can do just that. However, the second they see me, they wave me over. Hi, John! Hearing her voice again after such a short time apart is jarring, and I wince. These past few days I have worked in the communication with Shizune is almost entirely silent, and concentrating on getting it right. I can tune out even ambient noise. Well, I'll get used to it again. I'm glad she's back. Same. I'm done making up all my work just in time. Won't have to miss the festival. If they really try to enforce that, I'll pull you out on student council business. If they really were trying to enforce that, you would pull me out on student council business? What? That's abuse of power, definitely. No, it isn't, Hichan. Yes, it is. She just says that if there were only 2 student council members overseeing the festival, it would be a problem with it. Yeah, definitely. It has to be at least 3. It's for the good of everyone. It's perfectly reasonable. It's necessary. Shizune leans across the table a bit as Misha delivers her slightly disturbing militaristic justification in a childish, bubbly up and down tone. Yes. Man, I can tell that I took a nap because of her. Shizune looks so happy, full tenting her fingers and trying to hold back a laugh as Misha pouts more seriously on her behalf. Oh, Windows update, whatever, if you say so. I'm actually happy right now that we can talk so easily to each other. All 3 of us. In the beginning I thought that I might have found myself in a bad situation. I was sure that Shizune would hate getting saddled with being the tour guide for the new guy. You know what I noticed? Oh, there is a skip mode, okay. Okay, for the later use. I'm kind of curious, would I be able to record everything from the scratch?
without using the skipping? And again, it would take so much more time. I don't want to be that kind of burden either. It would be awkward even if she weren't deaf and mute too. Just now she said that we would all have to be at a festival, the whole student council. I don't think that the student council has any real jurisdiction over Tanabata. It's only Shizune's way of saying that she wants us to spend it together. It's nice to have friends. It's a simple thought, but one that makes me genuinely happy, that we could slip into being such with so much ease, despite the roundabout way in which she said it. I'm glad that Shizune thinks it strongly enough to express it at all.
Why did you wait until we waved you over to come sit with us?
A question out of nowhere. Shizune's eyes are expectant as Misha repeats her message. I feel like teasing her.
You want me to sit with you that badly? We're in the student council. We should sit together as much as possible. It's logic. I don't want to jump at the chance to sit with two cute girls anyway.
Where are they? I'm sorry. She paused in case I might say something like, "You're not that cute." And instantly locked myself in an obvious no-win situation. When I don't take the bait, Shizune becomes more energetic and continues.
You're abnormal.
Well, I didn't expect her to end it like that. That creepy expression is abnormal, if anything. You're too quick to call other people abnormal. So arrogant.
You were too quick to call other people arrogant. Well, in this case, not really. That makes you arrogant, and arrogance is also abnormal. You're double abnormal.
Why is she making this a competition? Yeah, it doesn't work that way. It's a sliding scale. Leaning on her arm, Misha closes her eyes and lets out a low, slow laugh like a chuckle.
Don't laugh. Don't laugh in this kind of situation.
I notice that Misha signs everything I say to Shizune. Anyway, even if I'm signing myself this redundant, but it's an unconscious action for Misha. On the other hand, I can't stop. If I let myself take it easy and sign less just because Misha is back, then what was all this for? I don't want to risk losing familiarity with how to sign either. My hands are pretty slow to speak on my behalf as this.
Hey-chan, you and Shi-chan talk to each other much more now. Back and forth, it's really funny too. Like an old married couple, right? Right?
What a loaded comment, in so many ways. Although because it's Misha, I can't have been on purpose. That's not a compliment. Shizune does react to Misha trying to pair this voice up. Maybe she didn't see it, sometimes it does happen, I've noticed. Still, I still wonder if it's really that simple and why I care so much, but I don't want to think about it too hard. I won't leave. I keep thinking that I'm hogging Misha's time with Shizune, and it could be that Misha cut in just now on purpose, feeling that way too. I doubt that either of them will let me leave, for, in some ways, they are too nice. Anyways, Shizune, if you really want to know, I didn't want to sit here because I didn't want to eat fruit. I thought that because of Misha being away for a supplement lesson or whatever, you two would have a lot to talk about, and I should just leave you on to catch up. That's why I thought I would just hang back. Don't worry, Misha, I'm not trying to monopolize Shizune.
Hey-chan, it's not like that! You're so considerate, Hey-chan! Shi-chan is sorry and apologizes.
I don't think it's worth apologizing over, so don't worry about it. Hey, don't you both think that since Misha is back, we should go celebrate somehow? I think so. Yeah.
Hey-chan, usually having to make up work isn't something to celebrate over. No, it's a good idea.
The time is perfect, and Shizune said that student council should have a little fun too sometimes. You have too much fun. You've probably heard that too, right, Misha? It should be fine. Actually, wait a second. Didn't you have to make up work because you were missing something class to begin with? So skipping out to celebrate would be kind of stupid. Maybe time isn't perfect, like I said, but we could go after school. Yes.
Where should we go?
Misha speaks. Shizune questioned her aloud before she even stops to think it over, both of them completely ignoring me. Hey! Listen to me, two-man short-sighted student council team!
Wow! Hey-chan, you're part of this team too!
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, you are! So forgetful and troublesome. I feel sorry for the girl who falls in love with you.
There will be no such person.
So, where do you think we should go?
I'm laughing in spite of myself, wanting to point out how Misha seems so enthusiastic now, when she was the one who was more apprehensive about it just a few seconds ago. For a reason I can't bring myself to do it, but this is okay too. After a short discussion on where to go, it seems like the only place all three of us know and are willing to travel to is the Shanghai, which, if you consider it, is pretty far from Japan. I mean, not that far, but still, it's a long trip. A tea house doesn't look like a bad place to celebrate. Yeah, I know it wasn't funny what I said, especially because I'm sure they sell cake there, and cake is the most celebratory food. If you say so. At least it's not pie. Cakes are superior. I haven't seen Yuko in a while either, and neither have the girls. For all these reasons, plus the fact that it's so close, I end up standing in front of the little tea shop with Shizune and Misha before I know it.
Welcome!
It's been a while since I heard Yuko's voice. Some sprites all over again by the energy she puts into her greetings. Kind of like an extremely nervous Misha.
Hi! But you don't have to do that all the time, it's just us! Yes, I do. But... Okay, if you say so, you go.
I take this moment to glance around at the house and notice that it is as empty as ever. It's lunchtime, especially the peak hour for an establishment of this time. And yet it is as barren as ever. I don't understand. There has to be a reason for this. Maybe it's actually just for the students of our school? I'm guessing here, okay? Shizune gently laps my arm to get my attention.
What do you want to get?
Technically we didn't have the chance to look into the menu still, right? Yuko looks a little agitated after Misha automatically relays the question.
No, I have to ask that. Is there anything that I can do for you?
Just some coffee for now, I guess, thanks. The dedication Yuko has towards her waitressing duties is sort of admirable. So is the speed at which she whisks slices of cake and our drinks to our table when we order. Then again, we're the only customers here. Who knows what it would be like with a full house. Shizune and Misha immediately dig into their cakes with gusto, probably because they can't talk with utensils in their hands. The whole point of sharing a meal with friends like this is being able to talk over it. After all, it makes sense that it will be the same with them. I am barely halfway through my cake when I hear their forks clicking as they set them down on their empty plates. How? It's not healthy to inhale your food.
He just sounds like an old man.
Do you even bite into it? Oh, that was cake, so I guess you don't necessarily need to. I cringe and instantly feel like I've been punched.
Are you going to wear yukata tomorrow, Hichan?
No, I don't even have one. Well, even if I did, I'm not the kind of guy who does stuff like that. I would wear one. Totally. As far as I mean, it's not all the people, but as far as I know, there sure are some people who would not appreciate that, right? Outsider wearing a yukata. But hey, I would like to know, how does it feel to wear it? What about you? Aren't you going to dress up?
Of course.
What do you mean, of course? You didn't dress up last time?
One time it's not a trend. It's a completely different situation away. Aside from not being Tanabata, the festival was on school grounds. Students should wear the uniform on school grounds.
Can't relate. None of my schools had uniforms. Clearly a shock, but her delivery isn't any different from the usual. That isn't normal, but her sense of humor never was, and I'm used to it. I guess her way of saying outrageous things seriously is a little better than if she were to say serious things outrageously. What's more troubling in any case is that I've started to associate a voice we're shining, and it's clashing with how Misha says out loud everything she does science. Anyway, I feel disoriented. Wait, what? I I guess it makes sense that you kind of make your own voice for her.
I'll dress up this time.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
I'll dress up this time. You'll see, Hichan. Not just Hichan, but me too. Yes. Maybe I'll change my hairstyle too.
What? Don't do that. I can't really imagine you looking differently. I would like to see. Why not? Shizune wags a finger and smiles.
Such a quick and firm disapproval. What if I were to change my hairstyle?
How? Over here it's possible because she has really long hair. With short hair, I would say less possibilities. Less options to do. Maybe you should grow your hair out and make it look like drills too. She looks unamused. Luckily I see Yuko making her way over. Likely to clear our plates or ask if we need anything from her. Yuko, are you doing anything for Tanabata?
Huh?
It's like she was practicing how to most smoothly ask if I need a refill of coffee while walking over, but she has no idea what to do. Having me ask the question first. I feel bad.
Yay. Yeah, I'm working. Yuko, they make you work on holidays. Oh. We have the most business on holidays and sometimes tourists. I don't mind. I have to do my best. I understand completely. So admirable.
She nods her head in solidarity, feeling a kind of kinship with Yuko through their shared determination to be the best. Although for her it's a matter of pride, whereas Yuko might just feel that she really needs a job and maybe a raise. The most business, huh? So, how many people on average during a holiday?
Well...
Yuko walks away and starts cleaning a cup of swizzle sticks. That isn't polite. This is not what a proper waitress would do. Nevertheless, I sort of got my answer anyway. Clearly, business is scarce at best. I start to wonder again how the Shanghai remains open at all. Maybe this eclectic style tea house is a trend that was outrageously successful before I got here, but isn't anymore, and they are just keeping it like this while they retool. Maybe the owner is rich and is involved in some sort of bet with someone else or a crazy scheme to see who can lose the most money. Maybe I just conveniently miss mobs of customers by seconds each visit. Or maybe this place is just a front for arms dealers. Since there's no one else here, why don't you just sit down with us? We can talk about economic infeasibility, but Yuko doesn't take the bait, shaking her head from side to side emphatically.
I've never really celebrated before or dressed up for anything like this. I'll finally be able to wear yukata. Yay!
What do you mean never? What about last year?
Last year Shizune, me, and the 3-2 class rep ran a stall for the festival. It was a soba stall, I think. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
The blind class rep of 3-2 must be Lily. I'm surprised they were able to work together on anything, but Misha would likely be the best possible buffer for that kind of thing, with how innocent she is.
She just cooked and took the orders and I translated for them. She just kept saying, "It's so inefficient, Misha! Why do you have to be there by middlemen? As in, why is there a middleman in the first place, huh? It would be fine if I did a cooking and took orders. It doesn't make sense at all. But I think everyone had fun in the end, right, Chichan? Right?"
Shizune adjusts her glasses grudgingly, causing Misha to break into laughter.
It was the old student council's idea, that's why.
So, what was the last student council like then? Shizune finally decided to step in again, or it's more like she can't stop herself.
Terrible.
That was blunt. She ends with chopping motion, as if passing judgment on them. I hope she's going to elaborate a little.
At universities and some private schools, student councils can have control over millions of yen to budget and distribute as needed. Wow, really? Millions? Alright, and they are much more involved in school activities too, John.
From Misha's tone, it seems like this is newer to her than it is to me.
This school student council was like a joke in comparison. Don't give people position power if they don't have the power at all. What's the point? So,
I would ask to have more and more work. It was hard to convince the school and the other student council members to allow it. Actually, a lot of the work you've seen us do really is work that I took on, which is what Lily was talking about. If it wasn't for Hichan, the student council would just file attendance reports day in and day out. Would you prefer that, Hichan? Of course, Hichan. As soon as the workload started going up, most of the student council stopped coming. What?
So it was just paperwork. Damn. Okay.
Shizune.
I mean, I guess you did the good thing. I could stand on your side there. You wanted to actually do something instead of just the paperwork. Shizune's fingers fold over each other carefully. It looks like she wants to add something, but she can't bring herself to. And I guess the people who used to be in the council were just there for the sake of being somewhere, right? Not necessarily to do anything. But then again, don't back into competitions, damn it. Did I read this? I think I did. Like she said, sign language gives you a little more time to think about what to say. I guess she feels like she can talk about this. So it's a little bit like chatting. That was then, and this is now. Let's just have fun tomorrow. This is what she finally settles for. Yeah.
Okay, the student council is adjourned for today. It has to be adjourned excitingly because today was a good day.
School seems to be over by the time we leave the tea house, as I can see the students coming down from the school as we walk up the road towards it. Now must be time when the Shanghai will be full with crowds. A couple people wearing our school uniform look at Shizune as she walks by, and I wonder if they recognize her as the student council person or if their eyes are just being drawn to Misha's head. It's impossible not to overhear the chatter in the air, and the topic is more often than not plans for Tanabata. I wonder how many of them will be using or going to the stalls that I reassembled. It makes me feel a little pride and emotion. I've never felt doing something for school. Maybe this is how Shizune feels as well. I almost want to ask, but it seems stupid to want to do so. So I just hold on to the thought as the three of us walk on campus and then separate. Shizune to the student council room, and Misha and me to our dorms. It isn't until they're gone that I again didn't ask when and where they wanted to meet up tomorrow. Well, that's problematic. We'll find out maybe where we are meeting in the next episode. For now, hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you in the next tomorrow. Yeah, and of course, I wish you a wonderful day. Bye bye.